Rise.
Hey, a lot of you I know just waking up this hour, and many of you waking up to snow on the ground. We got hit overnight, even in downtown Portland. There you see the snow, Pioneer Courthouse Square. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is, I'm going to say officially, a snow day.
Oh, yes, it is. And the snow and ice closing several school districts today, including Portland Public Schools. So, no class, kids. Also want to let you know this is on the closure list. Salem Kaiser, Silver Falls, Oregon City, Molalla, Colton, Corbett, Park Rose, Centennial, David Douglas, I'm running out of breath, Reynolds, Lake Oswego, and Washougal. Here are some of the districts opening 2 hours late. Hillsborough, Beaverton, Tigard, Tualatin, Gresham, Barlow, Vancouver, Evergreen, Camas, and Battleground. We can't verbally run down everything, but we do have them listed on the ticker below, as well as on our website, kgw.com.
Boy, well, we have team coverage as you head out the door this morning. We have Keely Chalmers in Drive 8. She is checking out the road conditions. Christine Pitawanich is talking with TriMet commuters in East County. We also have Tim Gordon checking out things in Vancouver, but we start with Rod Hill in the Weather Center.
Hi, everybody. Well, the first very clear message is we are dry. So what was a dusting to an inch, some spots a little bit more up and down the I-5 corridor, that has ended. Snow, of course, is on the ground. It's snowing in the Cascades. Still light snow for those of you out in the gorge. Good morning, Stevenson. Good morning, Cascade Locks. Nothing back to our west. So right now, we're just waiting for the sun to pop up. That happens at 7:27 this morning. And for the temperature to get up to above 32 degrees, and then we'll start loosening the ice and eventually melting all of the snow away during the day. Right now we are at 30. That's actually up 1 degree, so that's good news, right? Lots of school delays, a few closures, but 8 o'clock this morning I still think we'll be below freezing. Black ice continues to be a threat. 36 at noon, though, all the ice gone, snow starting to melt. 40 degrees a little bit later today would melt everything. And real quick, here's Northeast Salem, about 2 inches, Lisa says, on the ground. Looks very similar no matter where you go today. Here's Chris McGinnis.
The roads are variable. We've got variable conditions on the freeway system and variable conditions on side roads and major arterials as well. This is a live look in Westland, I-205 South on the Westland side of the Abernathy Bridge. There's the Highway 43 exit ramp. Got a two-car fender bender there. It looks like traffic getting by to the left. We've got light volume for now on that side of town, but obviously you can still see some snow coverage on the road. Let's switch gears. We'll take you to the Banfield. That's eastbound I-84 coming out of Hollywood. Left lane blocked with a fender bender there. We had some earlier trouble on I-5 through the Rose Quarter. That has cleared, but my drive through there about 2 hours ago was pretty snow and slushy covered. Here's a quick check of the drive out of Clark County right now, and you know, while they do an outstanding job of getting the roads down to bare pavement in many cases, you can plainly see that we still have some snow coverage there, and guys taking it pretty easy on the ramp from SR 14 to I-205. And that's really probably the best advice this morning. Just slow and steady out there on the roads. We'll keep you posted.
All right, Chris, you know, we see all those cars out there on the road, and I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't it be great if we could get inside one of those cars? We can get inside one of those cars thanks to Keely Chalmers.
Yeah, she is in our mobile unit. It's called Drive 8. Hey, Keels, good morning. Tell us where you are right now.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we're on I-84. We're heading west into town right now. Let me go ahead and show you the road conditions out here, and you can see there is still snow obviously along the side of the interstate, and you're still seeing a little bit on the interstate as well. It's slushy right here. I can tell you back closer to Gresham and Fairview, it was pretty snow covered and kind of bumpy, kind of slick in spots. Again, we're on I-84. That was both heading east on I-84 and heading west on I-84. As you can see, the closer you get to town, the better the road is. Right now, just kind of wet, but certainly slushy in some spots. The traffic is going slow. I think we're going to start to head north on I-5 here in a second. We'll check that out as well. But we were up in the West Hills. I can tell you that the residential streets certainly snow covered, slick in spots. Burnside looking pretty good. Highway 26, actually, the notoriously bad and slick spot between Sylvan Overpass heading into town was actually looking good. That was one of the best spots on the roads we've seen so far this morning, and that was, as ODOT explained, because of salt on the roads. But again, we have seen some cars spinning out, or not in the process of spinning out, but stuck on the side of the road after having some sort of crash or spin out as we've been traveling this morning. But again, We are now heading onto I-5. This is the off-ramp from I-84 West onto I-5 North. And again, you can see fairly slick, slow-going traffic. We will be out here throughout the morning as we have been, and we will keep you posted on these slow-going road conditions. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Absolutely. Keely, thank you so much. Take care. She mentioned ODOT, so we want to get live on the phone. Don Hamilton, he's been speaking with us from the Oregon Department of Transportation. So, Don, I'm sure you were listening into Keely and some of our other crews talking about salt and talking about, you know, wet pavement. If people can't delay their trip and they are going to get out, give us kind of an overview of how the morning is going so far on the roads.
Well, it's important to remember we're still in the early phases of the morning commute at this point. But I think so far so good. I mean, I think we've had a very civilized, very cautious kind of commute. There have been a few fender benders, but not too many at all. So if we're grading on how things are going, I think it's going fairly well. Our crews have been working hard to do what we can to make sure that these roads are as safe as possible.
You know, Chris McGinnis is giving us the look right now. He's showing us what really sometimes is a terrible spot on a day like this, talking about the Sunset Highway as you approach the tunnel. What's that, Chris?
Breeze Hill, I-5.
And Breeze Hill and I-5. Those look fantastic with the pictures that Chris is showing us right now. You can go ahead right now, Don, and explain why those roads are in such good shape.
Well, we've been hitting them both hard today. Those are two of the real trouble spots we've got. Highway 26 going up to Sylvan, and then Breeze Hill, which is that section that's slow incline from north on I-5 from 217. And we've been hitting them both hard with both de-icer and, in the case of the Sunset Highway, with salt. So those are areas where historically, as people might remember, we've had big problems in winter storms in the past.
All right, Don Hamilton with ODOT joining us live on the phone. If anything changes, we'll check back immediately. Thank you so much for your time.
Sounds good.
It is 6:09 now. We were telling you earlier about some school delays and closures, and a lot of schools in Clark County are so far opening 2 hours late this morning. So let's get out to Tim Gordon in Vancouver. Tim, how are things where you are?
All right, well, at least the snow has stopped, so hopefully gives that 2-hour delay a chance to be what actually happens up here. But we got an inch of snow at least on the ground. We're just off of 205 at Mill Plain. Check out the sidewalk. We nice fresh snow here. It's quite light and dry, and I can tell you just underneath it, you know, that's actually pretty good. That feels pretty good. It's not slipping around. I don't feel ice underneath this sidewalk, but you know, that's what you really got to watch out for. You get this light layer of inch of snow on it, and underneath there can be ice from yesterday freezing up overnight, and you can slip and fall on that, and it can also be out on the roads. That's what you need to watch out for. You see Mill Plain here, looking pretty good. I'm going to shoot some video now for you that I shot about 4 o'clock this morning when I first pulled into this location. And you can see the plows and de-icers kind of using this interchange as a spot to where they're working Mill Plain, but also getting back out on 205 and working the freeway as well. So they've been up overnight. Both WashDOT, Clark County, Vancouver all have their people out in trucks and working on this weather situation on the roadways for sure. We also talked to a guy who's an Uber Eats driver delivering foods to last night overnight, and he had some good advice for driving in these conditions.
Obviously take it slow, and ABS brakes sometimes won't save you. You have to let off the brake still and just slow down and try your best.
Everything gentle.
Everything gentle.
Yeah. Yeah, go gently, my dad says. A little more video here. This is a WashDOT truck getting on the Interstate 205 heading north off on the on-ramp here from Mill Plain, where we are. Back here live, you see the traffic. I mean, this is a busy roadway, and it's definitely got some traffic on it. Moving along pretty good so far. Definitely slippery in spots and slushy on the roads where they've treated it. Guys, back to you in Portland.
All right, Tim, thanks. I know when I drove in, I mean, this was a couple hours ago, but coming from Vancouver to Portland, it was, you know, people going like 25 on the interstate. So at least people at that point were paying attention. It was so slick.
But it was coming down then, too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's still snowing. So the active part of the weather event is over. Now we're waiting to warm up. And by the way, real quick, yesterday, you know, we did a Facebook Live and we talked about what's the difference between the generic weather apps that you get on your phone to follow along versus following, you know, a local weather source. So for example, yesterday about noon, we put on, I put on my Twitter and my Facebook page, and we talked about at lunchtime our Futurecast models with an image showing the snow showers that would hit last evening, and said if we get the snow showers this evening, surface temperatures would be freezing. We get a dusting of snow would accumulate. That moisture could turn into black ice as temperatures cool into the 20s overnight. So that's exactly what has happened.
You saying you nailed it?
Well, but it is a good point that you don't get that type of information from just looking at your generic little icon on that came with your iPhone.
And we don't get this face either. I mean, I may get that big snowflake come from the app, but I don't get your face.
Moments ago, you made fun of my face when you showed my picture. Moving